Right, 28 September 2020, and I'm joined by Mr. Khaliphani Phugeni, spokesman for the MDC-T. How are you, sir?
I'm okay. How are you, Gambakwe, and the listeners, wherever they may be?
Okay, fantastic. And I know that many people are surprised that you are back so soon, but today is a very special day. There has been a lot of activity since we last talked last night.
All right.
Can you briefly describe what has happened since we last talked last night?
Of course, you'll appreciate that when we spoke last night, I gave you a detailed account of the violent nature or the violent person in NC. And I told you that is dog whistling. For those who do not understand that term or that concept, it means that he was basically giving a signal to his followers that go against a court order, 2 court orders, by the way. There is a high court order, or rather a high court judgment on the ownership and occupation of Harvest House, and also a peace order, which is a magistrate peace order. So he was basically telling his followers that ignore all of that, just go there and violate both those, the high court and the magistrate court peace order, and just go and possess Harvest House illegally.
Okay, so can you briefly describe what happened last night? What was the chain of events?
Well, what happened is that there was a bit of an administration glitch on our side, in the sense that we were infiltrated. So one of the people, or the leaders, the youth leaders who was behind the Supreme Court judgment, and he was issued with a letter to oversee the youths that were minding that office. It's since been compromised, and it moved to the other side. So it is that person who then went and collected other alliance people and shot his letter to the police because he had the keys and everything else, and then he was able to take those people with him because they were in the company of him, who had a letter from us that gave him supervisory powers and access, he had keys and everything. So there was nothing that the police could do. So in other words, these people that were with him were not seen to be violating those court orders on the basis, on account that they were with him.
Okay, so what is the current status now? Who is in Harvest House at the moment?
The current status is that the imposters are at Harvest House right now, but you know that we are committed to the rule of law. We lead by example. So we are following a legal process. It takes time, unfortunately, but we need to be patient with that process. What I can promise our people is that we will follow the rule of law, and victory is certain soon, very soon. It's not going to be later, very soon. We will be in lawful possession of our headquarters again.
Okay, now let's look at their demands. They send out a letter saying that they are the 2014 structures, and they are calling for unity, and they are calling for the extraordinary Congress to be set up, to be established, or the processes that lead to that Congress to begin. What is your comment on that?
They are in no position to make any demands whatsoever. They are in no position whatsoever. They do not, in the first place, there is no room for demands in our constitution. That's not how we operate as a party. The leadership, which is currently there, it was elected at Congress in 2014. Chamisa and his group violently took over in 2018. And we went to court to make sure that order is restored. And order is restored, we will not then, therefore, allow those who created a problem to try and lecture us on how to go about cleaning up the mess which they created.
Okay, now I want to go to a difficult question. We saw Chairman Morgan Komich sitting next to the youths who were presenting. What is happening with Chairman Komich?
Is that supposed to be the difficult question?
Yes.
Oh, okay, there's nothing difficult there. What happened with the Chairman Komich is that Madam President called him and instructed him to go to Harvest House and dispense all of those youths. Get them out, close the office. I later got word that when he got there, they made him sit there and then gave him those demands.
Okay. Is that totally true, that he was forced? Because people were outside, some of the MDC-T youths were trying to get him to come down, but he wasn't coming down.
Yeah, well, I am in Bulawayo. I will be in Harare tomorrow. So I am in no position to speak with authority as to what is truth and what is not truth. Suffice to say, what I'm telling you now is the truth as far as I know it. So this is not a first-hand account. This is an account which I got that Senator Komich said when he got there. I did not use force, by the way. I simply said to you, he said when he got there, the youth said, sit here and get our demands.
Okay. So let's go to the Extraordinary Congress demands.
Yeah.
They want the Extraordinary Congress to happen. Where are we now with the Extraordinary Congress?
I said to you, let us be clear about this, Gambakwe. Maybe let me use this, this term for you to understand. There's no reverse gear. So anyone who thinks that they can have their cake and eat it, in other words, sit there and rubbish the Supreme Court judgment and rubbish the leadership, try and frustrate the leadership and the day-to-day running of the party. And then when they fail, they want to come back and pretend as if they've always been behind the Supreme Court judgment. They've always been behind the unity of the party. That's not going to happen. We are not going to allow them to gaslight us. It's not going to happen. We are normal. We are reasonable. We are logical. We are not fools. They cannot sit in their so-called 21st celebration on Saturday, insult the Secretary General of the party, insult the President of the party, and then want to come today and pretend as if, well, kumbaya, everything is nice. Let's just pretend nothing is happening. No, their demands mean nothing. They are inconsequential to us. So as far as we're concerned, their so-called press statement today, it didn't happen. Now, on the 1st of October, which is my birthday, I told you I'll be in Harare at the Supreme Court listening to that variation judgment. You know, we filed for variation. So there's going to be oral arguments or presentations in the court, and the court will make a determination there and there on our way forward. But we are clear as to who is in the MDC-T vis-a-vis those who are in what they call the MDC Alliance Party. I told you that we will protect or we will deal with the infringement to the use of our name, slogans and colors and all those things. So MDC Alliance, that's our name. They are ending the party thing. It's fine for now, but we will get there. They are really wasting they are basically, what they are doing is they are kicking the can down the road. But as I always tell you, the long arm of the law is going to catch up with them, and it's going to be soon rather than later.
Okay, what is the likelihood of your two parties, the two factions negotiating out of this situation? Or is this going to be legal?
We're not a faction, we're a party. We are a party. We have got headquarters. We've got representatives in parliament. We've got representatives in council. We've got the power to recall. They are a faction. We are a party. So let us be clear about that. Do not create false equivalencies here. At least you make people think of themselves too highly than they ought to. You are dealing with a party in our case. You are dealing with a faction that they imposed themselves as leadership, and the long arm of the law caught up with them. So they are in a fix right now. They are trying to gaslight you. You may allow them to do that to you, but no, we will not allow them to do that to ourselves.
Okay, I think I've exhausted the key questions that people had, and you have said that the people that occupied Harvest House, they used someone who was supposed to be legally there. So you are following a process, a legal process.
Yes.
And you also said, basically, the key point that many people wanted to know was, what is the role that Chairman Komich played? And you explained that he was not part of the group. He was trying to diffuse the situation.
No. You didn't hear me. I simply say to you, Madam President instructed him to go up there, get all the youths out, lock the office. And according to his own testimony or his report back to Madam President, when he got up there, the youth said, sit down, and they set him there, and then they gave him their demands. That's what he told Madam President. So I just want to be clear on that one. Like I said to you, I was not there. I am in no position to speak with some certain level of authority or certainty as to what exactly his role was. There are a lot of rumors flying all over. I do not want to entertain them. So I want to take him at his word.
Okay. And when we look at people like Vondo, who made a statement today in support of Dr. Kupe's presidency, what do you say to that?
Yeah, he has to go and join a branch. He has to go and join a branch. Remember, he's one of the people that dismissed themselves by joining the MDC Alliance Party, the G40 fronted party, if you have to go what the SG, how the SG describes them. But he now has to go and join a branch.
Okay, and all the youths that were not dismissed, who are inside, because most of them are MDC youths, they were not formally dismissed through a process of disciplinary process. Are they also dismissed?
No. All the MDC-T youths are out at this time. This I can speak with 100% authority. They are out. Everyone who's in there subscribe to MDC Alliance Party. So everyone who's at Harvest House right now is not a member of MDC-T.
Okay, and will you be able to give us a bit more detail on the process, the legal process, or maybe that is something you can talk about another day?
Yeah, no, let's reserve it for another day. The story is developing. It developed last night when I was on air with you. So there are a lot of pieces in there. I spend the whole day not communicating. As you know me, I don't like to communicate without getting almost a picture of what exactly is happening. So allow me right now to just be cool. But what I can tell you is that I spend the whole day in touch with all the key people, and very soon, very, very soon, we will be in legal possession of our headquarters.
All right, Mr. Khaliphani Phugeni, spokesman of the MDC-T, I really appreciate you joining me here today. And also yesterday, you said a lot, and I would like to encourage everyone who's watching to go and watch that over 1 hour video that we had yesterday. Is there anything else you want to say before we close?
Yeah, because I realize you didn't ask me about their demand for national executive and national council, you see. So if I leave that one out, then our listeners will be left with nowhere else to go, you know. But I want you to appreciate that the country has been under a lockdown since April. Since the judgment came out, the country has been under a lockdown. Intercity travel has just been allowed, I think, last week. So there was basically no way we could have had national executive or national council. We did have an online national council, which that one was possible, although we realized that we are prejudicing a lot of our rural folk. They couldn't participate. So we had to stop that. So now that there is the intercity travel, we're going to put measures to make sure that we hold a national council for those and the national executive for those who are eligible. The operative word being eligible, and we determine who is eligible.
Okay, Mr. Phugeni, I don't have any more questions to ask. I have looked at the comments that we had today. There is not really much, because the information that you've given us is complete. And I understand that this is a developing situation. So I would like to thank you very much for joining me today, and all the people that are joining from YouTube and Facebook. And obviously, I want to look, as usual, for a nice comment. And okay. Today I'm struggling to find a nice comment. It seems like people are very unsure about what is happening. There's a lot of uncertainty. Everyone is not sure. Are you having certainty yourself in the leadership? Is everything okay with your leadership there in Harare? What is the sense that you have as a leadership?
No, I'm pretty sure, like I said to you, remember from day one, they said this judgment is a dud. They worked hard to undermine the rule of law and constitutionalism. And we've been steadfast. We've made sure that this is a value, this is a principle to us. We're not going to compromise. So we are going to stay the course. We're on a building exercise. I told you the other time that the difficult thing for us is that we have to put up this aircraft while we're in the air. So there's no room for mistake. But I can tell you that from an administration point of view, the SG, you couldn't get a more focused man than him. He's on top of the situation. From a visionary and leadership point of view, Madam President has got that. I spent the whole day with her, and it was phone calls all over the show. But I can tell you, on top of this situation, our people will be smiling again.
Right. Thank you very much, Mr. Phugeni, and good night to everyone who is watching.
Same to